recreate what Foot do, but with the Jet, it looks like they're going to try.
All the fate of many teams in their hands. BBL come in, only really worried about themselves. For Gentlemates, well, the same sort of boat. They can blow this group wide open with a victory here today. Lotus is where we start, and a fresh face from BBL, both in the map we're seeing and the player who's opened it up, Magnum. Newest addition to this roster, a bit of a last-minute change. Managed to open up the B site. They're not content with just taking that control, though. Looking for the deeper push. 3 players on the other side of this smoke. Util fired, but Magnum, he's landed another and a third for Magnum. He'll eventually fall, but it looks like this round is set to land in BBL's hands. Mini, the only player standing in their way. He's been good, but not good enough this time.
Oh, that shouldn't be too much of a competition, but they've gone for this early stack towards the A site. We'll see if that lasts long.
Indeed, it looks like it'll be easy enough. The weaponry they've brought in, especially the Outlaw in play, be very useful coming into the next round if they can keep hold of it all. Like you said, concerning seeing that gap exploited so early on. A great read by BBL, but by Magnum, the execution to slip in there and catch Kamek going back the other way. Now B is equally, if not more open than last time, as obviously Mates go for the stack. It's a gamble. They've rolled the dice and it's all coming up to A. 4 players around this angle, and for BBL, well, they seem to be set to at least open that door in towards the tree.
I don't know if I've ever seen a lurking breach.
No, it's rare.
It's obscure, but it's purely based on the weaponry that's in hand. But now that you've got this far, you almost have to go back. Like, it would almost feel foolish to go, okay, maybe there's someone hiding on the backside of the other part of the map. I do like the look at these compositions, though. I think for both sides, it sort of sings towards comfort. I think that's what the changes have been made. Maybe not so much click on the Yoru. I'm still waiting to see this man truly deliver to the level we were expecting. But, for example, I think Kamek very comfortable on the breach. I think Zipan back onto that more aggressive initiator has looked very good. Mini on the Viper, like we saw on the Vice last time around. So I think comfort there. And then I'm looking at Lewn as well. The Jet, in my mind, not the ideal agent for this map. For him,
yeah,
there is no better agent.
Exactly, and I think we've had this conversation before around the optimal way that the game should be played, the strategy of the game versus playing to the players that you have. And yeah, BBL could come in and think there's a more ideal composition to run, there's a better way to play it, but ultimately, giving that player that comfort role can have a lot of value. Now they are hunting them down, looking for the orbs and the fights. Yumpy with a double, and there's a decent margin for error. 2 players falling though, and we've reached it. Anyone else, and those losses will be felt, but luckily it is cleaned up. It's really to sit back and wait, play contact on click, and avoid that early burst of utility that's coming his way, but he's been forced out by the salvos and caught in the open.
The door was open, right? Could even not just gone back through the door?
I think it just opened a second after. The salvos.
Definitely seemed like he was stuck in the mud, not having the TP online. They're getting slaughtered. That's 3 kills already. As you said, they were playing passive, looking for info. It was a slow round from BBL where they were taking their time to sort of feel out the map and then fall back. I noted where the spike was back in spawn. I think it was clear they were going to go back to it eventually, but that looked way too easy.
Well, it was, because BBL were stuck in the spawn there a minute in. They don't have any control really to play off of, and then the first point of contact they go for, they're finding the picks, they're finding the side, and it
from the side of Mates. Same stuns thrown in, but this time it's Lewn looking for those battles, loses the fight. Cat has done well. Just about going to escape on the retreat. Mini tagged up, but that's already the star duelist. This BBL squad gone. Now the retrieval of the gun, unlikely. Not in the greatest spot to try and challenge. Depends how much of a response there's going to be from BBL. Are they looking to just play this one as a squad, or is someone going to attempt to be a hero?
It's a big risk by Lewn to just go swinging through that wall, especially when you know Mates are on this lighter buy for so many of their players. Sure, they saved 2 rifles, but the others are going to be taking risks, and with the double up on the other side, that was an immediate shutdown. Mini had a pistol, Kata had a rifle, and the opening pick is Mates. Result of a little bit of a mistake. Now, BBL left to look for control elsewhere, and the standard play, when you meet that resistance on the A site, go back towards B. Mates have not exactly rotated in super early, and now they're filling in the space, but it's already been taken, and the plant should be acquired.
Yeah, it seemed like the spike was going to go back in another direction. Magnum needs to check his close corners and doesn't win the fight. It's the classic to do the damage. Keeping that player advantage. Still 2 guns in play, but I am looking at that Armageddon and also the late position of Prophet. This is perfect. A man to save them so many times. It looks like he's done it once again. Armageddon onto the spike will force them forward into Yumpy. And from here on out, it shouldn't be too problematic unless Kamek really does have a round in him.
No, it's just going to be another save option for Gentlemates. A wide enough net cast by BBL that they'll go hunting him as well. No guarantee he brings this through to the next round, and Sociable puts him in the dirt.
Importantly, what they came out with, considering how badly that started, I think they'll be quite happy with that. Nonetheless, now looking like a much more direct take. Lewn leading the charge once again. The full site cleared with no response, but the full retake looking like the plan.
Oh, they're just going in, running through the cages. It's being heard, but there's nothing in the form of a response from BBL. Sociable and Yumpy left to pick up the pieces, and they find a double. The problem is Spike still isn't down. They're now being held by an operator in the walk through. There's no flashes left for Yumpy, so there's no way to make that fight any easier, and that results in Sociable falling. I mean, Yumpy trapped in a corner. There's no way that they're going to let him out of here. Has to fight his way, and Mini wraps around behind. Great for BBL. Another factor that you have to talk about is the fact that this squad hasn't got to play in front of that crowd. This is their game, their moment with the fans. Kata, he was spotted on the way, but still able to grab one before being dealt with. A 4v4, Lewn looking for that aggression, and he'll catch it as well. Mini down and pressure onto the C site. Right now, mates are spread out, holding angles all by themselves. A little bit of a group up with Kamek and Click, but it's the C site that BBL are setting their focus on. And that leaves Zipan, soon to be a very much spotted Zipan, to hold by himself. He's backed off, and he should be able to get out of here, but he wants to fight, and that was a mistake with Yumpy lurking around. Okay, well, they know that Yumpy's there, so no element of surprise.
Yeah.
I think he might have hit his keyboard there.
Either that or he thought that was the one rotator. Everyone else is going a different direction, so it's like, oh, well, I might as well have a pot shot. Yeah, getting back into this one's not going to be easy. It's whether they even go for it. 2 versus 4. They're up. Yeah, it's not the gun of choice, and not even having an element to get out of here anymore. It just has to be that fallback. BBL are going to guarantee their 5th round on the board, and I'll say so far, like, okay, there's been a few mishaps, a few over-aggressive plays. It does seem like BBL are well aware of some of the plays that are going to be attempted, like catching that initial round on B site where they were ready for somebody to be setting up and catching them out as they do.
Nice try.
And then even in this round, I think just the awareness coming out.
BBL wanting to put even more pressure on. That's an early fight for Lewn. A great idea. Doesn't quite work out. The ult sent through as well. This will slow the push of BBL, but not stop it. The drone signals the push. There's aggression behind it, and Magnum is the one caught as Kata sidesteps the paranoia. Util thrown his way. Some shots land as well, but Kamek's here to back up that push. How Lewn survived so long, and that's a big danger. The Blade Storm alive late into the round. Kata makes it back to heaven just in time.
Go for it.
Looks like, yeah, with that Blade Storm just on the bottom of the rope, he's caught Mini. He's looking for more and won't find Kata this time, but he's put it back to a 3v3. Sociable in a great position, but he's been spotted now. The shots land on Click and his decoy, and the op of Kamek. This is a real danger.
He's just gonna salvo.
He's gonna salvo him off the angle, holding the stun late, and now Kamek has to peek into him. The timer ticking away, the pressure on, and
what is this
look,
angle?
He snuck into the corner. Sociable. It's a risk up against the op, and the risk that doesn't pay off. There's still time.
It's been going a while though, and look at where the remaining players are. They've realized that we could just play the back side. They'd have to try and clear absolutely everything in that late moment, and although you're going to look at this round and go, well, Sociable only got 1 kill, the amount of time he bought alone has...
That's what we want to see. He's been suffering in those opening duels so far, and it looks like another on its way as Click lands the op shot into Lewn, and the numbers sit with Gentlemates early on.
We've seen finally that operator have a little bit of extra impact. It's not been Click's day so far, or maybe not been his season so far, but being able to get his squad the opener, the spike, still very much down within the spawn, and a massive gap. Mini clearly not realizing they've just walked all the way through, expecting some piece of utility. Now that spike is being retrieved by Prophet, and because of that, the TP from Kada not going to find too much. Okay, it seemed like Zipan was actually aware of someone potentially peeking, but he's lost the fight anyway.
Talked about this yesterday, the idea of when you're at that disadvantage, you got to play aggressive. A great display from Yumpy of exactly that. Click already on the run through. He's got an op, but I presume a shorty in the back pocket. Finding himself a little bit of extra control. Another angle to fight from. Delay from Sociable again, looking good. Rolling Thunder deep into the spawn. It's caught too. Sociable's the one with the pressure on. No support coming his way, but he lands one before being dropped on the second peak. The defuse tapped, the pressure now on. They want to jump through and confirm that it's not being defused. That's exactly what Yumpy does. A 4-piece for the breach, the IGL, and the man who's been playing up to
Flash in the Pam rounds if they're going to win this series.
Well, that's it. Again, we talk about BBL's attack, and who knows how Lotus is going to play out.
Here.
It seems like a lot of those boxes that had question marks now have ticks. Turkish squad. Mates have done this same push-up on A. We've seen it. Zipan is here to assist. Kata behind the rubble. And this could cause a lot of problems as they look to be quite direct in their approach, but a little bit later in the round. Util dump is online, though. Salvo's forced Kata back. Levin's the one to take the space, fighting his demons.
He has no fear. Like, he could be flash stunned, completely blind, monitor off. You tell him to dash into a position and he will click. He's gonna catch another one. A couple now of opening picks that he's been able to find from pushing through B. Joins back up with the rest of the squad and gets some information. They're gonna push into this. A bit of a whiff from Levin gives a really good opportunity. It's gonna be left more so onto Prophet, who can't quite do enough. Now left all onto Magnum, and he'll be watched for this time from Kamek. Regularly, they're just gonna try and take it away from them, but look at the crossfire. 3 players here already.
It's Kamek who's in trouble, but he is finding one before going down. A redirect now from BBL. And in fact, the reinforcements have come in. Ult is not quite going to land. They're already ahead of it and see site to be taken. Okay, BBL avoided a lot of the dangers of this round already with Kamek down. No Rolling Thunder either for mates to fight their way back into the site. And now a possibility, especially with Yumpy, just 2 away, and now 1 with the plant. They can have a Rolling Thunder of their own. The swing is good, but it's Prophet to claim the kill. Yumpy goes down after 1, and Kata's stepping up to the plate. A triple kill to pull this round back into mate's favor. And 7-5.
Importantly, he's the guy making the calls. He's going to get wrecked within the first few seconds of the round. Wow. Immediately taken out by 11. It will be almost free roam at the B site. They have been able to sort of split these players up. It's a very peculiar round, as they're already going to try and take some aggressive control, but not spotting anybody out. The drone will be sent through just to make sure they haven't made it to the spawn, and eventually they will group up. But so have the players of BBL.
And they're ready to pounce right back into this site, and the heaven control being sought after. There's players awaiting their arrival. It was Magnum who got shut down as Yumpy runs his way back through, and a 3-piece from the breach. Yeah,
their opponents had done, went in front of it. Oh. With both pistols going in one direction. Normally the expectation is for BBL to run away with this, but we've seen it once that mates are able to fight back. They're going to attempt it here, but walking into a site with a couple of players already on it.
And not the best of weaponry for Profek, and he struggles a little bit with the trade-outs. This is going pretty well for Gentlemates. The pressure on, and Sociable might be about to take a big risk. Let's see if it pays off. It certainly does. 2 already under his belt, and he'll be robbed. That opening pick in the pistol round on C. He goes back. This time gets the better of them. Levin is caught and pushed down on. Easy kill for Click. Great paranoia from Cadavra. And now a 3 versus 5. They had decent weaponry. They can do damage. You see that with 10 HP left on Click. But it's mates who are clicking onto the heads of their opponents and leaving just 2 to stand in their way. Zipan, having sent the drone through, they know he's a little later. Look to isolate the pick, and that player is the one with the spike. There's a couple problems brewing for Gentlemates, but they're dealing with them easily. Now, only a Spectre in a 1v5.
Social obviously had no idea that the spike was going to be walking through late. he's in a bit of a weird spot. Like, it's not something I necessarily expect anybody on Gentlemates to clear, but I'm more so looking at what he can actually do from this position. Maybe hoping that one of the players will just walk into his crosshair. Oh, there you go. That's at least one for free. Kada will go down. Anything more would need a miracle, and it's not going to happen. The breach on the opposing side will now.
BBL sees aggression, and in fact, the first player they spot on the side of Mates, it's Profek, but he's got lots of backup, not just the breach, but we see here Lewn snuck past Mound and picks off Kadavra, one of the smoke players down. And it's Mini on the other side trying to take up space on A to recover some form of info. It looks like Kamek will be doing the same. Mates, not getting anything from the early fights.
This is the Cypher setup. So you may get a lot of ground, but it's definitely going to be noted. Well, eventually he spotted the cam, but they already have a player within sight, a player towards the door, a player rotating. There is plenty available here for BBL. A solid read, and well, misses onto the fake out, but that won't matter too much. Just looking to try and hold on to that player advantage, though. Yumpy goes peeking. That's at least one back for Mates.
You understand why Mates don't expect him to be there. He was on C, spotted with that triple peek early on, but the rotations came in right afterwards, leaving one just Profek to anchor on the other side. It means there's numbers more than Mates expect. Zipan does well to find one, but he's left to 11 HP. Still landing another, and Levin's got the pressure on, but it doesn't look like it. Turned him to a
four other people. You can have one maniac.
He's going
here. He is.
Blade Storm in the stun, but now has to back off. That's a bit off more than he could chew. Look! Oh my goodness!
Okay.
Back for more.
Keep it going.
He keeps on going, and there's no escape. Try as he might.
One knife
up against one blade. A single knife for Lewn. Oh, and it won't land. It won't find its mark.
He's human. He's human.
He's done enough already, Tom.
Yeah, see, one lunatic. It's okay. Oh, there's now a full squad waiting on the other side, and he's trying to get him with this shorty. Levin's just had a round.
Here on Lotus, and I think you have to look to BBL for what they're doing to cause those problems, and look to Lewn for that last round as well. The individual brilliance, the
so much
morale
space.
Sky high.
There's nobody currently on C. They know their A. They have all the information, and we are what, 25, 30 seconds into the round? Like, he's still going, because also they don't have a sentinel.
That's the problem.
So there's nothing to hold him back from walking all the way up, other than his opponent's going, well, they're not going to be this disrespectful, right? They're not just going to walk all the way behind us. And even at this stage, Zipan hasn't turned around, and that's a spike on the deck. He's even hit the tag up. Rolling Thunder's gone through to catch the remainder of the players, and Levin's kind of just sitting there going, well, guys, I got the spike. There's no one else here.
Lewn! They've ulted just Lewn, and they didn't even get him! Oh, it's a disaster!
Oh,
kind of
hello.
caught before he TPs, but the rest start to pick up pieces, start to grab a few picks here and there. The ult, though, grabs the information. Magnum left alone, 1v2, but Mini heavily tagged up. Click does have ulti, though, and post-plant. That could be very valuable.
It's peculiar that they've got to this point. It seems like just Lewn being isolated, the rest of the players obviously want to try and group up. Both Rolling Thunders were used, and it seemed like just in that chaos, Mates have come out on top. This now leaves Magnum to try and clutch things out. We've seen far crazier things from this man in the past, but it looks like the Mates players are going to look to try and take this together. The jump across from Mini, the sacrifice.
Play. Click pops the ult off rip here, and a lot of info gained as far as that A hold. One up in heaven, and they will catch Lewn.
Tried to re-aggress. Magnum's done well. Been able to hold on to the space that was lost from the ult. And I don't mind this from Mates. They're not wanting to commit into a site where they don't have the information. An upgrade or two available as well after some weaker purchases into the round. And actually, Mates have read this quite well. Currently an opening on that C site. And with Viper's Pit and a post-plant Armageddon, I'm not saying the round is locked, but it's about as good as done if they manage to get the spike down.
I think the only person they saw as well was Mini on the cam before he broke it, and that's going to tell you that, okay, it could be a lurk. Oftentimes they will send Mini to do that, especially after opening pick. Early rotations coming through from BBL, but yeah, the position of Kamek, it should catch them off. It does. They go to clear the closed corner. He's a little further back. Then Kamek swings in to close out that second duel. Sociable and Yumpy weapons in hand, economy low, and definitely sociable in Magnum. Looking like they'd like to carry some weapons through to the next round. With the Viper's Pit to fight through as well, they've definitely made the right call here.
Yeah, the difference not as far as you might think. That last round probably would have put the game to bed if they didn't manage to turn it into their favor. Okay,
what they can do is it will be a B and A play with just utility covering that C site, playing the retake if they need to.
The consistent C aggression. And knowing, like, of course, again, when you have like the Killjoy or something, you're going to put a piece of utility to stop this mid push-up. Maybe their expectation is because they pushed it so many times that there'll be some sort of counter, but in this case there isn't. It's just a slow walk up from Gentlemates. Staying as a group, at least in a buddy system on the other side of the map, trying to fake out some presence with the Breach and the Tejo. A lot of your initiation on one side, and well, for the C site, again, it is completely left open. Another thing for BBL is you might have looked at it and gone, okay, we left that open before, will they expect us to leave it open again?
Well, they just droned up A. BBL realized that no one's there, but they're a little late to the party on the C site. Mates have already overrun it. They've staked their claim. The plant will come through fairly soon. Spam's the best option that the defenders really have to work with. One rifle towards the spawn and one in Waterfall, pushed forward. Magnum had no choice but to take that duel. The ult even catches Levin. That's a rifle on the floor, soon to be retrieved. Well, no, not even. It's being guarded for the moment, at least. And now Mates, well, they rejig up the setup and look towards the spawn, knowing there's got to be a second prong to this retake. A little bit of damage done, but the smoke's up in time to give them that little bit of safety. That's a big gap. The spike is ticking. They'll need to be fast if they want to win this round, and they'll need to get through Click. Not a chance. 11 to...
Attempt to cross. I like this. The cam combo with the operator. Could be exactly what they need.
In a bit of a gap, you can see. 11 will fall back. Mates get a clean cross, but down goes the wall, and that's a tag, but no kill. Click surviving. Rotates coming through from BBL. Utility online. Sociable still has salvos to slow them down if they need. But Mates have pumped the brakes. And then I guess the problem with this, though, really, Tom, is that they don't have any control across the map. It's a big risk to go back here. If BBL pushed B or C, got into those nasty little corners, there's not a lot that Mates can do to have that info in advance. There's nothing really. But the risk is very much paying off. That rotate to the C site, that movement to the left, and everybody is over on A. It's only going to be Profect that has a chance to stop this, and a great fake from Mini. This is going to keep them in position.
Trying to sell that ruse. Here comes all the information. This will be where BBL start hightailing it to the other side of the map, but that's a lot of control lost. And Profect needed to make sure if he does stick around that all he's really doing is finding an opener. Fantastic stuff to deny the spike. That will make things that little bit more awkward. Rotations needing to be made from players that were already out of the site to try and get that spike down. In the meantime, the aggression of Click was basically just a bodyguard, trying to stop them getting in towards that site. But this now means that all the Mates players are stuck within.
Oh! Nice shot by Mini. That was through the smoke. I think the second was too. And he's finding even more. Chip. Especially here on the defense, he's been doing great when it comes to those early fights. I know he was struggling a lot on the attack. Again, it makes sense for how they've been structuring their site takes. He's always the man taking the risks. A lot of weaker weapons for BBL. Means you really want to play this with the numbers. Group up and approach these fights together. Magnum down to 50 as he swings, thanks to the decay. That is the only pick they end. Darts. Early fight up from Click. He's making his way again through this A site. We've seen it before. They finished out towards the C site with the door open and a swing through after Click got picked off. But this time, he's able to get his boots on the ground. Having control is his. Decoy set up and ready. It's sent out just after the drone is destroyed, and a little bit of time bought here with a Rolling Thunder deep into spawn. I like that angle. If Profect wins this fight, they've got a little bit extra to work with from BBL. Now Mates are locked in. They didn't take that spawn position, and the ult clears it out completely. It's players on the site that have to hold strong.
They've done well to get up close before Yumpy kicks things off. The response, though, is decent. putting things back into a close position. Kada's going to try and teleport behind them, and in fact, Mini has managed to buy time and an extra pick. Kada from behind with his opponent so desperately low. Mini flying forward, and they will clutch this one out. Timing, and in that moment, the communication had to be perfect, otherwise they lose that round. 12-11. Weaponry, not the best. Bladestorm for Lewn, it won them around earlier. They're going to hope that it can do the same again, and he has the full force of this Gentlemate side up against him. Rolling Thunder, perfectly placed a chance. He's only going to get the one, but doesn't want to overcommit this time.
It's only one pick for BBL. They need that little bit more look at the disadvantages when it comes to weaponry. 3 SMGs to play with. The Bladestorm for Lewn can at least make up for that somewhat. The aggression here for Profek, trying something new, but Kada's watching it. The Outlaws trained in on the angle, and it's just one shot needed. Back into even footing. But this position from Sociable, not expected, not detected, and he's out of there for free. 2v4, great stun. And they're going to be sent running backwards, or Sociable comes to meet them. Kada with it all to do. 3 to pick up, or we are going to overtime. And it's again anyone's game.
He's already tagged. 70 HP. Magnum's SMG will become ever the more deadly, but Magnum with that extra experience knows, okay, I'm not giving him a 1v1. I'm not giving him any sort of chance. With the time ticking away, they can literally sacrifice player after player off that clock. Magnum can run in on the last second just to make sure there's no opportunity for a plant round already done. The other two just not going to be facing. Okay, the other one not going to be facing. Yumpy was gone. An extra little bit of...
So, although BBL have done well to get here, this is the real challenge.
Everything changes in OT though. Everything you remembered, all the strats that you've seen. Feels like Pal could really use his notebook back. That's all I'm going to say.
I'll put this on me.
Position. Kada, stun is sublime, but it's only going to be the one. Zipan tries to continue, but it's Lewn to fight back. 2 impactful kills, 1 away from having that Bladestorm. We've already seen what he can do with that. Unfortunate for Zipan as well, because he got his ult online from the death. The defense, though, are not just sitting pretty. They're making a move.
As they should, and the group up here. BBL are looking to move towards that broken door. There's 2 players, aggressive, holding on to that control. Flash is good, but Mini's better. It's 4 for Lewn, an ace needed. Steps heard, and the stun subsiding. Kamek standing in his way, and he swings in for the ace. 13-12. He shows up when they need.
With trades pretty much up until the last couple. It was players peeking on his teammates, and he's just making sure that that trade is instantaneous, solid reactions. I love the final kill, though. Bates, they need to turn it on the defense, though. The attack side rounds, their opponents are running away with it, but they get aggressive and they win that early fight. The hero of the last round will have to watch as a spectator, but more importantly, mates have to win a 3v4.
Yeah, he's watching on, but they've got the advantage, and it gets even better now. Kamek trying to make that fake pressure on A, break the trap and take a fight. Well, he's done both of those things, but the fight didn't go his way. Kada and Zipan to pick up the pieces. 6 rounds in a row, and they looked set to just tap it in. But BBL, they've had a resurgence right at the final whistle. And from downtown, it looks like they're set to score this map. 13-12, 1 more, 2 more picks, and it's all theirs. The spike's still not planted as mates desperately try to find an advantage, force a fight, but when the duels come up, it's nothing but BBL on the scoreboard. 14-12, Tom. What a